Hey guys, Bobbybarks here for another episode of live Loadout Tryout. This is episode number 3, so it's probably one of the shortest running series on YouTube for The Last of Us. Today we're just running with a Revolver and then as many perks as possible. We have Jack of all trades 2 and Lone Wolf 2. Not going to be doing much in the way of commentary. I'm going to try and do little bits here and there, but today is mainly a little bit of background about myself, how I got into gaming, how I got into YouTube, factions, all that sort of thing. Valkyrie did a video about a week or two back now where he talked about things very similar, and I noticed there were some comments on there about how people would wish that more YouTubers would do this sort of thing and talk about how they got into factions and things like that. So this is what we're going to try and do today. So I'm an 80s kid, so I've been around gaming a long time. My first ever computer was the Spectrum 48K, which probably sounds really ridiculous to a lot of young people now, but 48K Spectrum, little black keyboard with black rubber keys, and the tape deck, yes, tapes, came separately. You had to buy a tape deck to go with it so that your tapes would play. Then we got a Spectrum 128K. That was the next big release for us as kids. So we had one of them. Then I had a Commodore 64 before getting the Sega Mega Drive. And when Sega Mega Drive was released, 16-bit was the biz. It was just out of this world. It was like everyone got excited about the release of the PlayStation 4 last year. Well, 18 months ago now. Everyone was so hyped about the Mega Drive, and I bought it. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Couldn't get off it, and that's really where my gaming started, to be fair, with the Mega Drive. Games like James Pond, Golden Axe, FIFA. I mean, I'm from the UK, and football here, or soccer as you guys across the pond call it, is massive in this country. And I was always a bit of a strange kid growing up. I was very sporty, or jock-like as you guys would call it, but a bit nerdy as well. And I was probably one of the first few sort of people that was into both sports and computers, I guess. But yeah, Mega Drive, so like I say, Golden Axe, FIFA, Alex Kidd was another big thing. My favourite game on the Mega Drive was a game called Shining Force, if anyone remembers that, and it was like an RPG. It was a Japanese import that was the dialogue was changed for American audience and what have you, but it was an absolutely fantastic game, and I got so addicted to it. I played it constantly, probably as much as what I've been playing The Last of Us for now. I mean, I've been playing The Last of Us since it was first released on PS3, and Shining Force is only the other game that comes close to the amount of time I put into it as what I have with The Last of Us. So Shining Force did a sequel, Shining Force 2, which was a massive hit for me. It was a very similar sort of story setup, but better graphics, believe it or not, better graphics. You wouldn't think it now, looking back, but yeah. Never got a Mega Drive 2. I opted to get the Mega CD, which was an absolute bust. It was really, really expensive. I remember my parents paid about £300 for it, which is probably about $450 to you guys. Absolute fortune it was, and it was a complete and utter bust. The only reason I got it was for one game, which looked interesting. I can't even remember what it was called now. It was something like Night Trap or Trapdoor or something like that. And basically, you were this guy in a room, and you had a load of cameras in front of you, and you were watching the residents of this mansion. And if you saw some these weird people that were trying to get into the house and kill the residents, and they were all dressed in black, and if you saw one of these people dressed in black, you had to press your X button basically, and you'd open up a trap door, but you had to time it perfectly to open up this trap door, and it would get rid of one of these people dressed in black. But that was the only reason I bought the Mega CD, purposely for that game. And to be fair, that was the only game I played. There wasn't much else released that I can remember of, certainly that I remember playing. So the Mega CD was a bit of a bust. And then obviously came the PlayStation 1. So things like well, Final Fantasy 7 and 8 were big games for me. Metal Gear Solid, Tomb Raider, Oddworld was one of my favourites back then as well. Crash Bandicoot as well. I had a big thing for Crash Bandicoot. But those were the sort of games that I was into and loved playing. PlayStation 2, obviously, was all about Grand Theft Auto for me, really. Grand Theft Auto 3, San Andreas, Vice City. And as a kid from the 80s, Vice City was the best one by a million miles for me. I love that. Other than that, on PlayStation 2, I think I was probably in my late teens, early 20s then.
Good to go.
When PlayStation 2 came out. And I didn't really play much gaming then. Like I say, I was big into the Grand Theft Autos and obviously the FIFAs that came out. Other than that, I think it was a time in my life where I met a girl. We were going out a lot, getting drunk a lot, going to parties a lot, and gaming kind of fell on the back burner for me, really. PlayStation 3, obviously got that when it came out, and PlayStation 3, a little bit of a weird one really with PlayStation 3, because if I remember rightly, I actually bought an Xbox 360. I had no end of trouble with the Xbox, because I think it came out before the PlayStation 3, like months before the PlayStation 3. So I went and bought an Xbox 360 because I think my brother had one and he was big into Halo and big in Halo Up and what have you. So I went and bought an Xbox 360. I had no end of trouble with it. I think there was something wrong with the power packet, something like that. So I took it back, exchanged it for a new one, got the new one home, and then that didn't work. And I was like, do you know what?
Wait a sec.
I've trialled the Xbox, I've trialled the Microsoft. I don't like it. Taking it back, get my money back, wait for PlayStation 3 to come out. Stick to what I know. And lo and behold, PlayStation 3 came out. Never had a minute's trouble with it, and obviously loved it from the get-go. And that's really where I found, obviously, the Naughty Dog franchise with the Uncharted games. Absolutely fantastic. Best games I've ever played. Uncharted was fantastic. Uncharted 2 was even better. Uncharted 3, maybe not as good as 2, but it was still a fantastic game. And then, obviously, The Last of Us came out. I carried on playing the GTAs and the FIFAs, but The Last of Us came out and it just took me in, really. Just really took me in. Fantastic single player, and I don't really remember why I had a go at the multiplayer. I never really played multiplayer online games before at all, not on PC or PlayStations or anything. But I went online for one reason or another. I've never played Call of Duty, never played any of those sort of things. But yeah, I went online, and it intrigued me more than anything. Just really intrigued me. But I was absolutely useless at it. I mean, back then I think there were 6 weapons if you count the 2 pistols. There was only a 9mm and a revolver for smaller firearms, and then the large firearms was semi-auto, burst, bow, and the hunting rifle. And I was absolutely shocking with the hunting rifle. Absolutely, I can't aim, or I couldn't aim back then. And the bow I just found really difficult to use. It felt a bit slow and sluggish. So the burst rifle felt inferior to the semi-auto. So I always went with a semi-auto. Always played with that. And once I unlocked the shotgun, a bit shame in admitting this, but yes, I did use the shotgun quite often, just till I got used to the gameplay and the maps and things like that. I remember being in a game on Lakeside, and I think I was camping in Beaver's Lodges, as I call it. The big lodge at the top of the map. I remember camping in there, being the last one alive, and there were 2 guys on my team, and back then when it first came out, there was no parties or no parties option. You were just literally survivors or supply raid, and obviously there were no interrogation either. I remember camping up there against 2 or 3 enemies that were left, and there were 2 guys on my team, and they were ripping the absolute piss out of me, talking about how shit I was, how I couldn't play the game, how I should get off. And I didn't have my mic on, but I had my headset on and I was listening to them, and I'm thinking, do you know what, they're probably right. I'm not particularly good at this game. I don't really know what I'm doing. I could probably do with some help, and if they'd have been a bit nicer, I'd probably ask for it. But I got the impression that they didn't particularly want me on their team. So only a couple of games later after that, I actually came across 2 guys that were quite helpful, and I turned my mic on, started talking to them, got in a party with them, got playing with them regularly, until it became a fixture every night. Fortunately, those two guys have moved on to other games, so I don't get to play with those anymore. Certainly not on this game anyway. Just obviously through playing on my own after that, I met other people and got quite a lot of friends now online that play this game. And as soon as the PlayStation 4 came out, I bought it. I was really hopeful this would get remastered and released, and it did do, and it hasn't let me down. It's been absolutely brilliant. I'm amazed that I'm still playing it, to be honest, and it still surprises me. Things still happen in the game that's new to me, despite me knowing every nook and cranny of every map, despite me knowing the strengths and weaknesses of every weapon, and I still really enjoy it, and I'm still playing it nearly every day, and I don't see an end to that at the minute. Still really enjoying it, and that's one of the main reasons why I've got a YouTube channel now. It's something I never thought I'd do, but for those of you that don't know, I am married, I have children, and my eldest child is 9 years old. She's big into gaming as well. She's got a laptop, an Xbox, a PlayStation. She's really big into gaming, and she's forever watching tutorials on YouTube about how to do certain games. Obviously, due to her age, she's into Minecraft, and she's watching people like Stampy Longnose and things like that. And she wanted to create her own YouTube channel off the back of that. So we've kind of gone both in together. Thought we'd give it a go together. So that's one of the other main reasons why I have a YouTube channel as well. It is basically to appease my daughter, to show off our gameplays. Obviously there's the last of us at the minute, but we do have a few ideas going forward about how we can develop the channel and add extra games into it, things that she's playing, things that I'm playing, crossovers between us both. So yeah, I'm really excited. I'm glad I've done it, getting more into it. Not particularly great at video editing at the minute, all new to me. I've just acquired Sony Vegas Pro 13, so I'll get into grips with that, and hopefully we'll be able to produce some better videos for you all too. So that's me. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in the next video. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Keep breathing. I got this.
I'm glad you're covering my ass.
Those uniforms are fucking done. Let's see if they try that again soon.